Hey there everyone, this is Joe in general, your resident reason and evidence enthusiast. It's your weekly Bitcoin price analysis update. It is Wednesday the 26th of July 2017. Couple of quick things before we move on to the analysis. So I'll put a link to the time codes in the info section and as a pinned comment if you want to skip straight ahead to the Bitcoin analysis. But a couple of things. Very quickly, always like to give a quick shout out to my new subscribers, a total of 4,418, pushing that 5K mark. So thank you to all those who have come on board in the last few days. Secondly, I have been promising that I would talk about a new coin, an ICO, an initial coin offering called DENT Coin. Now, I've been really busy in the non-YouTube land, just everything else bar YouTube. Been very busy, so I haven't had time to do that, but I want to briefly talk about it now. For the main reason, this is DENT Coin right here. If you go to their website, dentcoin.com, I have just recently made a very small investment, only 2 Ethereum worth, just dipped my toe into the DENT market for a couple of reasons, which I'll briefly mention. But the reason I'm mentioning it right now is because the sale has 8 hours and 52 minutes to go. So it'll definitely, by the time this is released, uploaded in the next probably hour or so after I make this, it will still be running, but I would suggest if you're watching this not long after it's uploaded and you want to get in, well, that's the time you have right now. That's why I really quickly wanted to mention it. I want to apologize for not doing a more in-depth video about DENT Coin. I had still been sort of umming and ahhing about whether to get in, but watching a couple of other people's videos on DENT Coin just pushed me over the edge. You know, do I think it's going to be make me millions of dollars? No, probably not. But I like the idea of DENT Coin. Basically, I mean, you can read the website yourself, but it's tokenizing the mobile data industry, creating a worldwide marketplace on Ethereum blockchain to sell and buy mobile data. How cool is that? You can, with DENT Coin, you can sell and buy and also donate, share with other people if you want. You don't have to, you can just donate it if you like, your mobile data. Now, it's not as easy as it sounds. There's obviously, it's a much more complicated system, but I like the fact that DENT Coin seemed to be, and I could be wrong and correct me if I am, seems to be the first and only player in the crypto space that's to do with mobile data. Could totally be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, it's the only one. And I like the idea. It's buying and sharing mobile data. That's pretty damn cool, and you can do it using the Ethereum blockchain. I think that's really awesome. And so I did have a look at some other people's videos on it. In this one in particular, I'd suggest you go have a look at. This gentleman named, his channel is named Wealth of the Future. A very small channel in its infancy, is probably quite new, but did a really good job at explaining DENT Coin and why it might be, an opportunity that you may look into getting into yourself. The title of the video is DENT Mobile Data Token ICO, key player for IoT and autonomous devices, ? IoT means the Internet of Things. Basically think, fridge, toaster, kettle, microwave, any device, tractors, drills, any device that you can think of will very likely eventually be connected to the internet. Think of almost any device you can think of. I'm not just talking about household devices. I'm talking anything mechanical is quite likely to be in the future connected to the internet in some way. Now, it could be connected to the internet via Wi-Fi, but a lot of it will probably have to be connected via mobile data. So that's another reason why DENT Coin could be something that you may look into. Again, I just invested a very small amount, 2 Ethereum. 2 Ethereum bought me 880,000 DENT. Now, obviously, they're selling a absolute crap ton of DENT tokens. 100 billion in total are being made. Now, it sounds like an absolute crap ton, but you have to think about it. You know, why is that? Well, it's because it's to do with mobile data. And if you figure, and I would have to re-look at this, but if you figure that, you know, each, I don't know if they've locked this in, but if, you know, if each, you know, DENT coin, DENT token is, you know, 1 megabyte worth of data, well, they need a hell of a lot of DENT coins to be able to cover, you know, the whole world, hopefully. So that's why they have so many. I know other YouTuber JSnip4, a while ago he looked at DENT Coin and he was considering getting in, but he didn't like the idea of there being 100 billion. I get what he's saying, but you know, I understand the reason why DENT Coin have to have 100 billion of them. So as I said, I did buy a couple of Ethereum worth myself, and I'm happy just to dip my toe in the water, just you know, only spend, you know, what I'm willing to lose on DENT Coin, and I'm fine with that. You may consider spending less. You may consider putting in a whole heap more. That is up to you. But please go to their website, check out their frequently asked questions. Please read their white paper and do your research on YouTube as well. And go check out this guy. He did, as I said, he did a really good job. Wealth of the Future. Check out that video. I'll put a link to that. So that is it on DENT Coin. I am in, and you've only got a little bit left to go. All right, straight onto the Bitcoin analysis. So this is where we were last week. Now, as you may remember, last week I had to do 2 videos. I was late doing my weekly Wednesday Bitcoin price analysis. I actually had to do it on Thursday. And then on Friday, about 12 hours later, we had this massive price rise from that 1830 mark all the way up to 2938. So I had to quickly jump on YouTube again and make another video. So this is where we were. And we topped out at the 2938. We're hovering around about 2,750. And I talked about this top end of the trend channel here, this line here, and we were hovering around, skirting around that line. And I was talking about how I was very happy that I put in that particular line. It seemed to, you know, work out quite well. So if we punch in, this is where we were on the 5-minute time frame last week, and as you can see, we're just sort of hovering around that top end trend line right there. And I was suggesting that we would probably still hover around this kind of area, around this line, until you know, a decision had to be made. You know, we were going to punch up further, breaking, you know, into new all-time highs, or would we have, you know, a retracement back down? A retracement was very likely since we had such a large price rise, and we're talking about last week the prices where it could retrace down to. Check out the previous video. I'm not going to go through all that again, but this is where we are right now. So as you can see, after that price rise, we have broken it down, and we broke down to around about the prices we were talking about last time. And as you can see here, I have drawn in the exponential Fibonacci lines calculated from the low of 1830 and the high here of 2938. Very quickly, let's punch in to similar to that just there. Where were we? Last week we were there, which is around about, yeah, it's about, I can't quite pick it. Yep, 1, 2, 3, and the thing, around about there-ish, I think it was. But as you can see here, for quite a little bit more, we were sort of skirting around that top end of the trend channel right here. And particularly right here, it looks like we've had a couple of tests. It tested it 3 times, and the 3rd time failed, and so we have seen a break to the downside. As you can see here, if I punch out a little bit further, we have come down to the 61.8% mark. Now that's a very healthy retracement. We could even a healthy retracement still would be to come down to the 50% mark here of 2,319. The exact Fibonacci retracement levels are calculated here. This is my exponential Fibonacci calculator spreadsheet. It is available for free. I will put a link that you can just download it. If you want to send me some Bitcoin for my troubles, then you're welcome to do that. Of course, I would never force you to do something. I am a voluntarist. But if you want to send some, I'll put a link to my Bitcoin address as well. But this is all done for you. You just pop in the high there and you pop in your low, and everything else is calculated. So the exact numbers: 23.6 was 2,046, the 38.2 was 2193, the 50% retracement mark, as I said, was 2,319, the 61.8, 2452, the 76.4, 2627. And as always, of course, we are using the bitcoinwisdom.com website. It's the Bitstamp exchange. Always take that into account when I'm talking about my prices. And it's priced in US dollars. So as I said, have broken down to the 61.8, very healthy. If we break down to the 50% mark, that's still very healthy as well. A 50% retracement coming off a very large price rise is very usual. So don't be worried if it comes back down to this, oh my God, it's back down here. Don't worry about that at all. That's completely normal. And what we'd like to see is possibly even coming back down to the 50%, sort of skirting in between the 50 and the 61.8, and then coming back here, just sort of, playing up and down, and hopefully, sooner rather than later, breaking up again to test the top end of the trend channel here. And then once we break through there, very likely that's when we'll start seeing a test of the 29.38. And after the 29.38, that's going to be a test of the all-time high of 29.80. I have drawn back in, just for now, this downtrend line, because I wanted to see where it would come down to within the context of here. And as you can see, that it's kind of hovering around about the 38.2% mark. Even if we came down to briefly test this downtrend line, and if we didn't pierce through it significantly, that would still be okay in my book personally. Again, don't take anything I say as financial advice. This is just what I think. So we could, if we have a brief test of this downtrend line here, breaking briefly through the 38.2, but then coming up, you want to see it come quite back up. You want to treat this, you want to see this, sorry, as a failed move. And then you want to see a very fast move back up to, say, through the 50% to the 61.8 and higher from there. Of course, we could break down further. We could break down, it could happen. It could happen. I think the likelihood now, though, as I said last week, is very, very unlikely, if at all, at this stage. But again, my personal opinion. So that's, I guess, the market at the moment. Looking very healthy, in my opinion. And as I said, want to preferably stay above the 50%, but if it comes down here and has a quick snap back up, that's fantastic in my opinion. And if you want to know where I think the price is going in the longer term after breaking a high here of 29.80, we've got this video, as I've mentioned last week, that I did about a month ago, entitled 4083 I Do See. Check out that video. I'll put a link to it. It talks about, basically, that's the Fibonacci number, the 1.618 Fibonacci number between a very old high and a very old low. But we're talking about, a range of between 4,000 to 4,100 roughly. But 4083 I do see, it rhymed, so that's why I put that. So that is it, gang. I will make sure to keep you updated if something happens in the price. Like last week, if there's a big giant price rise or a giant price dip, I'll try and make another Bitcoin video if something happens within the next week that I think is, worth talking about. And of course, I promise I will talk about more ICOs. I've just been really busy at the moment. I will be doing another video on Populous very shortly as well. I don't want to give away too much right now, but there may be, and I don't want to jinx it, but there may be an interview coming up, quite possibly all to do with Populous. If that doesn't happen, if it doesn't happen, I'll let you know anyway. But maybe stay tuned for some more information about Populous and a possible interview. I'll say that much for now. So thank you very much, gang. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that button if you haven't already. If you've been watching my stuff without being a subscriber, you dirty, dirty person, hit that subscribe button now. Thanks, gang. Stay safe, stay informed. Speak soon.